All right, doors are closed. You all can't escape. No, so thank you everybody for coming today. We're going to be talking about Power Apps, Momentum, Vision, and a whole bunch of new features and capabilities that released. I'm Charles Lamanna, General Manager of the Citizen Application Platform at Microsoft. I'm joined by the esteemed Ryan Cunningham, Director of Program Management for Power Apps, and we have an excellent show for you today. So the first thing I wanted to kick off with is just kind of a quick little statement on what are we after? What's the mission for Power Apps? And really what our focus is to empower every developer to do more. And when people hear every developer, they kind of ask, what does that mean? It means three things. Citizen developers, people that don't even know they're a developer, bus drivers, business analysts, dashboard analyzers through Power BI, people who would never think of writing something in Objective-C or C++ or C# are creating applications with Power Apps. That's in addition to IT developers and professional developers, the historical, I'd say centralized Visual Studio, VS Code folks, they can also do more with Power Apps. And this is something really core to the mission of what we're trying to go after with Power Apps as a product offering. And you can kind of see this in all the core capabilities of what Power Apps is all about. An easy, visual-based, low-code way to create mobile and web applications that can connect to over 250 different data sources, wherever your data is today, as well as using the Common Data Service, which is a fully managed database provided in the backend with advanced security, advanced authentication, business rules, and logic. But you also have powerful governance, powerful reporting, as well as professional developer extensibility through custom connectors and plugins and the new Power Apps component framework. You can always drop into code if you want. And this kind of broad spectrum is what we mean by every developer when we talk about Power Apps. And for the Common Data Service, that really is a core part of what Power Apps is and where we see customers being successful today. It has all the data from Dynamics 365, Office 365, as well as connectivity out to your Azure services. It has advanced business security, hierarchical security, teams, sharing, all of that advanced capability you need in a typical line of business app available out of the box. That's a core ingredient of what we talk about with Power Apps is the Common Data Service, or CDS. And another big element of it is the industry accelerators we have with the Common Data Model. So well-defined, hundreds of entities that you can just use out of the box without having to recreate them, available right inside of CDS alongside Power Apps. And when we talk about Power Apps, it's in the midst of a much bigger picture. The Power Platform, one low-code platform to rule them all for Microsoft. Office, Dynamics, Azure, your own custom applications. And that includes Power BI to do data analysis, Power Apps to go act on that data by building applications, and Flow to automate business processes around them, all the same type of general idea. And of course, you have data connectors and CDS common to all three, and the new announcement that we had this morning with AI Builder, which is the same type of easy, low-code experience to do more faster in the Power Platform around AI. And when we think about Power Platform being so important to Microsoft, just don't take my word for it. Obviously, I'm biased, right? So Microsoft all up has 4 core pillars. Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, Azure, and the Power Platform. And one of the 3 core pillars of the Power Platform is Power Apps. And now's the right time. Now's a great time. We're just really going and pushing on this platform across all of the Microsoft products and across all the Microsoft support network to go deliver Power Platform to everybody around the globe. And this is a really transformative moment for us. So, what are we actually going to talk about today? So I'm sorry for the rehash or all the Power Apps experts in the room, but there's 3 major things I would hope that you can take away from all the new content we're going to cover. The first is whether you're no-code, low-code, or code-first, whether or not you want to stay only with clicks, you want a little bit of expressions in Power Apps, or you want to write TypeScript or JavaScript, that's all okay. And it's all supported, and you're going to find a great home with Power Apps. Number 2 is that intelligence is everywhere, and it matters. If you want to go build a modern application, it has to be intelligent. It has to have artificial intelligence. It has to have some way to do more faster to help the users actually leverage that application. And the third thing is we have a lot of new stuff. I mean, really, a lot of new announcements today, and a lot of things that's coming in October that we're going to share today as well. So when we talk about no-code, low-code, or code-first, we really are talking about first, Power Apps. Every developer can go use that. You can go build apps very quickly. But it's not just about Power Apps. There's a much bigger ecosystem at Microsoft. We have all the Azure Compute Services, Azure API Management, Azure Logic Apps, Azure Function, Azure Kubernetes Service. They're all available there for you to connect to from Power Apps. In addition, we have all the Azure Data Services available at your fingertips. Over 30 Azure connectors inside Power Apps. Azure SQL, Cosmos DB, SQL Data Warehouse, Azure Blob Storage, the list goes on. And it's not just about those services. It's also the tools and ecosystem around being a professional developer is fully integrated inside of Power Apps. If you use Visual Studio and VS Code, you can go build your Power Apps component framework, your custom components there in code. If you use Azure DevOps, you can use the new command line interface as well as new Azure DevOps tasks that we're going to release to easily automate your deployment end to end. You can go up and down this stack with no limits to go deliver really transformative application experiences. And Ryan will actually walk through a whole bunch of these low-level features that make it possible. Additionally, if we go look at what this is translated to in the market is just phenomenal momentum. We saw some of these stats this morning with James. There's some new special stats in here I snuck in. Almost 500 billion API calls to the Common Data Service in the last month. Over 1.5 petabytes of relational data stored in the Common Data Service right now. And that's more than doubling every 6 months. There's over 2.5 million Power Platform active developers today. And that number is growing at an insane pace. And you can see that. Over 700% increase in production Power Apps in the last year. Over 300% increase in Power Apps monthly active users. It's permeating all kinds of companies, whether it's small, medium, large, no matter what industry you're in. Power Apps is really starting to, I like to think, taking over the world. And the reason is because there's such a focus on delivering new capabilities suggested by our customers from our idea sites. Over 400 new features and capabilities have been released in the last 6 months. We are just continuously shipping updates, and if you want to go shape our direction, you can go to our ideas site. We look right on those votes to go determine what to build next. And if we look at those 400 new features and improvements, those are all some screenshots that Ryan's going to walk through. And in fact, he has about 40 minutes to do all 400 features. So hold your breath. No, just again, capability after capability after capability. And some of those are small, but some are big. If you go and you look, we have AI Builder. That's a huge, this is a transformative moment for the Power Platform. It's now possible to create machine learning models, to use cognitive service capabilities, to understand images and forms and structured data without writing a single line of code. And all the tools you already know for Power Apps in the Power Platform work with AI Builder. It's actually at powerapps.com. Go there right now and you can start building machine learning models. And again, it's for every developer. No code, low code, or code first, fully supported. And we also have the new Power Apps portals, which are a new way to easily go out and reach all of your customers, all of your end users with anonymous access or consumer logins. They don't have to be in your Azure Active Directory tenant anymore. This was our #1 feature request on our ideas site. And this is going, yeah, it's awesome. Yep. And if we look at all these capabilities, 400 plus, some big, some small, but they really combine to start to deliver on that promise that no matter what solution or problem you're trying to solve, you can do it entirely in the Power Platform. And when you actually run up against a limitation, you can go jump into Azure and Visual Studio. And to show this in action, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan, who's going to do all of this mashed together in a massive demo. Here we go, from backstage. Woo! Pass the baton.
Hey, everybody. Yeah. Come on, all right. Business applications. Good afternoon. So I'm Ryan, but today I'm going to play the role of Manuela. Who saw the keynote this morning and saw the awesome video about Manuela and Virgin Atlantic, yeah? Yeah? It was phenomenal. Really, really cool story going on in this organization. I'd love to share just a little bit more of it with you. How many people have actually seen a Power Apps demo today? Or a demo before, yeah? Yeah, you're going to see another one, right? But if you've seen one before, you've probably heard a lot about citizen development, right? About people who don't traditionally write code, about people who aren't technical, whatever that means, right? And can be able to come to the platform and get successful on the platform and build really cool things for their companies, right? We've heard stories about security guards and auto glass dispatchers and assistant principals, and some of those people are here today. Those are phenomenal stories. There's lots of them. This is not one of those stories. This is a little bit different, right? If you saw Manuela in the video this morning, you heard her say, I got hired as a software developer at Virgin Atlantic, right? I develop PowerApps. I help other people develop PowerApps. Now, what is an accomplished professional software engineer doing working with low code? I'd like to show you, because it's pretty cool. So Virgin has a lot of lines of business, and one of them is operating a spa. Right, they operate actually premium lounges inside of the airports they serve, and there are a couple of spas within those lounges. Now, we're talking really high-value customers, right? The type of people who fly first class every single week. I'm sure there are some of you out there, right? And who are spending their lives in the airport and spending a lot of money with Virgin and want a really great customer experience inside of those environments. But in an operation with just a few people in 3 locations and 3 airports, that's not getting the peak of software engineering expertise across the organization, right? When I go into the spa on a daily basis, I have to fill out paper forms. I have to actually fill out the health form and say, no, I'm not pregnant. Yep, still allergic to peanuts, right? And then fill that on a piece of paper every single time I go to a spa service. Because the business case didn't exist to modernize that process until Manuela and PowerApps came along. And now they can build the type of app that can check a customer in on a tablet right from the attendant in that spa, right? They might even be able to scan my boarding pass. I've got my lovely Virgin Atlantic boarding pass right here, in fact, right? And go look up all of my customer information, pull it out of the common data service, out of Dynamics 365, and then put all of it into a single pane of glass for that attendant so they know all about me. Right? They know where I've been on the plane that day. They know what I've booked in previous bookings. And they even now, with the power of AI Builder, they know how to recommend a treatment that I might want based on my location and how long my layover is and how people like me have bought that in the past. Right? And they can actually walk this through the whole process. Take that old paper form, still not allergic to peanuts, and fill it out right here and sign it and be off on my way. Right? That's incredibly powerful to really go quickly transform that process. But again, that wasn't built from scratch in lines of code, right? That was built in PowerApps. Right? This whole experience built visually in an environment where I'm editing the app as I'm building it, where I get really real-time feedback about how my changes are making an effect, where I can drag and drop and change this UI as I go, but I can also use simple Excel-like expressions to go figure out what data is coming back and filter it. Right? I can even now start to evaluate some of those expressions in line. I can go say, hey, this is a table. Go pull back the data in line right from that table and tell me what's coming out of the common data service as I develop. Incredibly powerful for me to go put these things together. And now I can bring, as Charles mentioned, AI right into this experience, right? Right from within the broader PowerApps ecosystem at make.powerapps.com. Now I've got this nice little AI builder tab, right? And I can pull up here and start to create all kinds of models. Let me make sure all my connections are hot. Right? I can do binary classification. I can do object detection. You saw Wim do that in the keynote this morning. Let's go figure out how to recommend somebody get a pedicure. Right? And based on this, I'm going to go take and point at data I have in the common data service. It's going to say, what do you want to predict? It's actually going to walk me through how to think about this AI process in context with great inline help. So I'm going to go grab an entity that I've set up previously, the recommended offer. And it's going to go look at all the different binary fields, the yes-no questions on that entity, in this case, the pedicure. And I'm going to go forward and then say, okay, what are all the other factors that we know about offers people have taken, right? The time they arrived, when they arrived, the departure hour, the flight number, and what are we going to look at to go build this AI model? And I can use all these if I want, or I can start to opt out of some. I say, don't influence the model based on when this thing was created, for example. And that model will go run, and it'll go, it'll set up. I'll say, yep, go train it based on all the data I have currently in the system, and it's going to go set up and run for me in the background until it's ready to be live. I'll pop up one that I've trained before for the Radiant Facial, right? Once we've looked at all the data in the system, we can actually tell you how confident we are in making a prediction based on how much training data you have. We can even tell you what the factors are and how influential they are in whether you're going to get that particular offer, whether that particular question is going to be a yes or a no. Turns out the available mileage balance you have, because I can pay for these things with miles, pretty influential. The length of my layover, pretty influential. Whether I've gotten a separate offer or not, pretty influential in this model. So it's just very powerful for me to go do that. And again, it's just the tip of the iceberg. So Virgin is developing these applications at a much faster rate, and their employees in the spa are having a much better experience serving customers. But what about Yvonne? Right? What about the customer? What's my experience? And now with PowerApps portals at the same time, we can start to build in low code for completely external users, for partners, for franchisees, for customers, in this case for frequent flyers. Right now, Yvonne can come to a web portal before her journey even begins and sign in and pull the data we know about her out of the common data service and say, hey, Yvonne, we know you've got a flight coming up. You're coming to Atlanta and you got a layover. You might want this recommended facial, right? This is all working on data in the common data service, so all that AI and predictability is all right here baked in. Right, and I can go build this and actually create the same types of forms and input mechanisms that I can in PowerApps over CDS right here. I'm going to get some shellac, whatever that means. I'll ask Chris about it later. And complete this process all the way through end to end. Right? And there's a dedicated design experience for this now inside PowerApps. This is a new type of thing I can create right from PowerApps.com. I can come in and, again, use all the familiar low-code capabilities that I'm used to in PowerApps. I can pull an image in here. I can resize it. I can, mess with the font size and bold and make it look exactly like what I want to make it look like. But then I can also work with data. I can add components from CDS. I can edit different pages, and then I can put in this case, a form, which I'm going to connect to data in the common data service. All these entities are actually right here at my disposal. I'm going to go pull up the spa booking. I've got a lot of entities in my common data service, guys. I'm going to pull up the spa booking. I can pull up the form for that particular booking. I can even start to edit that form in line. You'll notice that we've modernized a lot of the creator experiences around CDS and around PowerApps. Now I can drill directly in and load up that form, the same form that I use in a model-driven app, the same type of data that I use in a Canvas app, and I can start to edit this right on the fly all the way through this process. Right? And that's how these things all come together. Right? They all converge around PowerApps and CDS. And I can bring them together by building, again, back office applications on CDS that I model and I create declaratively. I'm going to do a hot swap here to number 7. My cloud is broken. There we go. Thanks. Now I can take a component that I developed as a professional developer or a component that I developed on the PowerApps canvas and embed it right into this declarative experience. I can take all the benefit of UI that I automatically generated over CDS, that's what we call a model-driven app, and all the benefit of experience that I finally crafted either with my mouse, with clicks, or by writing code, and I can put these things all together into one package. Right? And that's how these platforms are converging to really change the game for what everybody can develop, what every type of developer can do. And Charles talked about this a little bit earlier. I think Manuela talks about it even more eloquently on Twitter. You should definitely follow her if you don't already. But it's really about the way that this changes the relationship. Right? I mean, it used to be, for those of us who have worked in software for a long time, we've spent years trying to extract expertise out of the head of a user and put it into the head of an engineer, and hope that in 6 months something good comes out the other side, right? With this platform, we can go the other way, right? And at the minimum, we can meet in the middle. We can start to give people the tools to solve problems themselves, and we can make the relationship, the interaction, the speed of change and interaction so much faster in between people on all ends of that spectrum. And that is really the power of PowerApps that we're lighting up. Manuela, you're doing awesome work, and if you're not working like Manuela, I encourage you to be very soon. All right, let's talk about some features. Apparently, I have 400 to get through in 39 minutes, so I might need to talk a little bit faster. You all ready for this? I'm just kidding. I'm a terrible auctioneer. So we've talked a lot about AI Builder today, and there's also whole dedicated sessions on this. And you've seen now a couple of different versions of what AI Builder can do. It can detect images inside or objects inside of images. It can do binary classification. It can predict yes/no outcomes based on fields in CDS. It can also process forms and documents, classify text. And I'll go through a few of these examples. We'll skip some of the ones you've already seen a live demo on, but this is the binary classification. I can set up and point to certain fields. I can go upload a whole bunch of images as a training data set and use this nice wizard to train the model on what I want to detect. Again, bind that to products or other objects I know about in the Common Data Service, and then have pre-built controls that I add right into PowerApps from the AI Builder menu that I know how to bind to that model, right? So when I go use that camera on mobile or even upload an image from the web, it'll go automatically draw those bounding boxes, recognize the objects, and I'm off to the races on my way. Now, I can do that for forms processing as well, almost the exact same thing. I can go train this on a structured document, a paper form, an invoice, a work order. I can go say, here are the lines, here's the address, here's the date, and then again, have a pre-built control inside of PowerApps that is already wired up to work with that particular model. And then it pulls the data out of it. And I can use the outputs in my app. I can then go work with it with other data sources and other controls all the way down. Similar story for text classification. I can take fields of text in CDS and go recognize the particular tags and types of information inside of those fields of text. And same story, we'll give you a confidence score for how confident we are about particularly tagged items and let you continue to train the model as you go. And this is another one that gets immediate benefit without even having to train a model. We've got a business card scanner now right inside of PowerApps as well. That already knows how to look for a contact, already parse lots of different layouts of business cards and pull out the company and the full name and then be able to bind that all the way down, right? So PowerApps is getting much smarter. And again, this is just the beginning. It's available in preview today. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, please make some time for that soon. Portals we've talked about as well. Now this is technology that we didn't invent overnight, actually. Portals have been part of the Dynamics 365 family for a while now. In fact, there's millions of users at major global brands using portals for customer support, for supplier management, for installers, for even internal employees, for benefits and stuff like that. What we're doing here is we're making it now possible for anybody to build one, completely generically outside of the context of Dynamics, and we've made a much easier end-to-end authoring experience for doing that on the web. And so now I'll be able to do this right from PowerApps.com. There will be a new type of app, as you will, called Portal. And I'll be able to get off and start building it as you saw me do earlier today, right? A nice drag and drop interface. It's templated. These pages are fully responsive. And I'm able to actually go further than even what I can do with my mouse by writing some HTML and some liquided template language when I want to do something more advanced. And then, of course, I can integrate with CDS data, and that's where the real value comes in here. I'm not just building a website. I'm giving people access to their records, my spa bookings, or my support requests, or my particular enrolled students at a school. And that's where the real value comes, is the ability to map those things together. Also to let somebody log in with their own identity, or even start to browse this anonymously, right? Fill out an anonymous comment form or contact form to put data back in CDS. Lots of powerful capability here. We just wrapped up a private preview that went really successfully. We weren't even going to roll this out or announce it today, but based on that private preview, we pulled up the public preview date. This will be available for you to play with next month. But there's more. A little bit more, I guess 398 more things. We'll try to go through those. One more close to home to this topic of sharing what you build in PowerApps externally. At the same time this fall, we will also make it possible to share Canvas apps and model apps externally with guest users as well. And you'll be able to do it with guests in your tenant, and you'll be able to do it just like you share those apps today. You'll use the same inline sharing experience at PowerApps.com. You'll be able to point to a guest outside of your tenant if your admin allows that, and they'll be able to use your apps just like anybody inside your tenant would as well. And it's just a little video of getting that invite and being able to directly log in and use an app, even if you're not in that particular tenant. So that's a lot of cool stuff. Let's shift and talk about what we're doing to make it faster to build really cool apps and bring components together on the platform. A lot of exciting stuff here happening recently, and some announcements we made at our professional developer conference Build just a few weeks ago. We've now fully previewed the PowerApps component framework. This has a couple aspects to it, but most notably, now as a professional developer, I can write custom components, custom controls, using the language of my choice and bring them into my apps. Today that's in preview for model apps. We will bring that to the canvas as well. And along with that comes a whole bunch of great tooling for professional developers to build those components. I have plugins in VS Code. I've got a command line interface. I've got a much better way to quickly get up and running to start bringing these components in and interfacing with the rest of PowerApps, with the rest of that user experience and the data layer as well. And I mentioned we're bringing this to Canvas too, right? So today this is just for model apps, but eventually, and not long from now, I guess in the words of Keith, in the fullness of time, this will be possible on the Canvas as well as in model apps. In fact, the business card reader is already working that way. The business card reader is already based on the PowerApps component framework and usable in both places. And so the net result of that is that just we're already seeing some amazing amount of innovation happening in the community. Partners of PowerApps, partners of Dynamics 365 are already building just an amazing amount of controls. You can follow them online. It's really getting cool and frankly cluttered out there. The first time I saw this slide, I thought I had a virus. But we're just starting, right? We've just released into public preview this capability, and can't wait to see where y'all are going to take it. Now, of course, part of the component framework is not just writing code. It's also the ability to do this in low code as well, right? And reusable Canvas components are in preview now. Today, I can go import them from other apps. I can put them into an app and then reuse them inside of multiple screens and multiple applications that way. Very soon, this will be generally available. I'll be able to import these from apps stored in the cloud. And be able to do a lot more with Canvas in terms of interacting with data sources and interacting with other aspects of my app. Here's the moving demo of what it will look like to go select these components themselves as first-class citizens in a gallery in the cloud and pull them right into my application to develop with them. So just a lot of power here for people doing more advanced development. But what that means is that also everybody working in PowerApps can start to build from richer building blocks. It means everybody will have easier way to put things together, and they won't have to build them always up from the low-level primitives. That'll be inclusive not just of the professional developers, the more sophisticated makers, but also of those lower code makers, because you can provide them pre-built pieces. Now we can also start to put those pieces together. Right? So we've got great user experience that we generate out of the box on top of CDS, that's model-driven apps. Now I can take those components built on the canvas or custom components and mash those up into one experience, put them together into one place. That's in preview now. That will GA later this month, and it will continue to get new capabilities along the way as we go. Another thing that will roll out later this calendar year is then the ability to have truly custom responsive pages, right, that start to blend the concepts of Canvas and Model together. The ability to have a page that has regions and layouts and knows how to reflow at different widths and sizes, can participate in the overall model-driven navigation structure, but then has all the other capabilities of the canvas. The ability to place things within pixel-perfect clarity in low code, the ability to connect to multiple data sources, and then the ability to intermatch and intermingle those things in one application much more natively than you can do today. A lot of capability that will be unlocked there on our roadmap to converging these two app types. Quality is incredibly important to us as well, because we know it's important to you, right? And those investments are not just our own investments in building a really resilient, robust platform that we are investing in for the next decade or more of software development, but it's also increasingly starting to ship those capabilities to you, so that you can ensure quality of the apps you build on the platform, so that you can make sure your users have a great experience at the end of the day. And that starts with good hygiene, right? That starts with just the ability to be able to move assets from dev to test to prod, to have this notion of a solution of related components, things that go in my apps, things that back them from a data perspective, the logic around them. We've been making great strides here in solution awareness and the solution management experience for Canvas apps and for flows to participate in this bigger structure. Custom connectors are coming, environment variables are coming very soon, and you'll see us continue to march out the capabilities of what I can do from an ALM perspective. Lots of great sessions on this this week to go deeper. We're also giving great analysis tools once I have those things in a solution, where we'll go run over all the components of your solution and pull out common risks from a performance and a stability standpoint. Hey, this thing might make your app run slow. You have too many fields in your form. You're calling external services in a synchronous workflow. You probably shouldn't do that. That's a bad pattern. Here's deep documentation about how to fix it. And this is now recently generally available. It's rolled out everywhere. And we're adding again to it the ability to just look at more things, analyze more rules, get better guidance on how to build better apps. What we'll also be adding in the fall, in October, is then the ability to run diagnostics directly while authoring an app. How many people who have been building Power Apps for a while have gotten stuck to the point that they've had to ask their users to install Fiddler and run a Fiddler trace? That's kind of where this whole low-code charade ends, right? We've been there, right? Now you'll be able to do that right from Power Apps, right? Integrated directly into Power Apps. Go see what's happening behind the scenes when I click a button. What connectors am I calling? What's taking a long time? How do I go fix it without having to go download a bunch of stuff or do a science project to figure out what's wrong with this app? We'll also be able to write tests for apps declaratively, right? Let me tell you how the app should be used. Let me tell you how what a successful experience through the app looks like, and write that declaratively, and then we'll run that test every time you update the app, every time we update the platform, make sure things are continuing to run as expected as we go. So just a lot of work funneled into the quality perspective here. Now, we're also pumping a lot of work into the model-driven side of the house, the user experiences that get automatically generated over CDS, to make sure those are best in class on mobile and on the web. A lot of great work going on to the mobile side of this house specifically. We've just released the ability to have a pretty robust mobile offline capability in the model-driven mobile app, right? Where I can now completely lose internet connectivity and do basic CRUD operations and then reconnect to the server over a set of standard entities. Now, there's a lot of work that we've done to make this a resilient and performant service. And then the work going forward is to go expand out the capability of scenarios that I can apply that to. And get broader than some of the standard scenarios for an offline worker that works by default in mobile. We're also pumping a lot of work into making the user experiences of these model-driven apps really first-rate, and putting work into the navigation experiences and the commanding experiences, and that will all roll out in October as well. On the web for model-driven, we're improving forms. We're making headers more dense. We're making sure that long titles and field names are easier to read. We're just putting a lot of polish into this user experience as we ramp a lot of usage through it. Same for grids. We're making them more dense, having better filtering experiences and active typing, just getting to a place where these things really feel world-class, and you don't have to put a lot of manual work into building this list and configuring these things as you're putting an app together. Same thing for lookups, right? Just all the common tasks of browsing a classic business application are getting a lot of love in not just their raw performance, but what it feels like to use them. We're also pushing that kind of rigor up to makers and maker experiences as well. And so you may have noticed recently, if you're a heavy user of the platform, that no longer are you getting sent to web.powerapps.com. You're now going to make.powerapps.com. And that's a subtle change. It's not because we think the web is a fad, but it's because we've actually done some work in the plumbing of how these experiences work together, right? We're really bringing together different pieces of technology, for those of you who have been following this for a while, into one cohesive shell, right? One cohesive experience. This is now empirically 25 to 30% faster already out of the gate than web.powerapps.com, and it's much more integrated in terms of what it feels like to author CDS entities, to author lists, to author forms in the new form designer, and we'll continue to sort of fold all these experiences together. AI Builder runs natively in this. These will start to feel like one family and not like a bunch of browser tabs or different tools that were developed over different times. Along with that, the new form designer for CDS is very close to being generally available as well. It's been in a preview for a while and ramping usage. Just a great modernization of this experience for people who have been customizing dynamics for a while, and that make it much more usable for general audiences over CDS as well. I thought that was applause for a minute. I think it's rain. Get ahead of myself. We've again been pumping a lot of work into CDS on the canvas, right? So now I can work with relational data and more advanced concepts in CDS much more natively from Canvas apps, right? I can go navigate a relationship many levels deep with dot notation. No more writing complex lookup formulas or filter formulas and trying to debug them later. We'll just walk those relationships natively in line. And we've done a lot of work in the long tail of things like polymorphic lookups and more complex end-to-end relationships. We've invented new language in the formula language. You can now relate and unrelate records from each other. So there's just a lot of capability that you can do here in the canvas. We're not at all done on that front, and there's more coming very soon. In fact, behind the experimental flag and preview regions already, we now have a new native way of connecting to CDS, where both the experience and the plumbing under the hood are vastly improved when I'm working with CDS data. So this is both a guided experience that makes it easier to bind data to things like forms and galleries, is smarter about data I've already bound in my app, so I'm not having to reconnect everything and rewrite expressions every time. But then also, under the hood, works much more natively and performantly with CDS. So CDS is not just another connector anymore, but actually gets a lot of special powers inside of the PowerApps world going forward with the flip of that switch. Including the ability to support views in CDS, which has been a long requested feature from people who have been working in that part of the world for a while. We've also put a lot of effort in general into the studio authoring experience, working on productivity and really getting very close to individual makers, listening to lots of you and your input about what we can make better for you. This is an animation of what we've done to make it easier to do dependent drop-downs or cascading drop-downs, things that rely on each other. Really anything that has an items property that can now be filtered by anything else with an items property more easily. But that's just one example. We've done a lot of work. You saw earlier the inline results view when I'm working on the formula. We've worked on the app object, the onStart property. If you follow our blog, you've seen a lot of that rapid fire improvement at the micro level of what it means to just be a productive developer every day. We absolutely will keep that coming, and we want you to keep those ideas and that feedback coming on how we can make your lives easier as well. Here's another great example of it. Now icons are just much more easy to swap out. I can put one icon on control on the canvas and change out the icon behind it. A long-running feature asked by yours truly. I can now rotate a shape or an icon, right? There's just a lot of capability. I know, rocket science, right? AI, icon rotation, we do it all. But you know, just a lot of that effort going into the polish of the experience of what it means to build apps as well. On top of that, we're now, and you'll start to see this rolling out imminently in the next couple weeks, now shipping Inline Help right into the maker experience. We're shipping the ability to go take little tutorials that walk you through step by step how to do certain tasks in PowerApps and tell you, click on this, click on that, bind this data source, write this expression, and will help your makers and you yourself go walk through these experiences step by step and not have to kind of decipher them from blogs or docs or forum posts all the time. And so we'll start rolling these little tutorials out for guided learning in line, and we'll definitely look to your input on what we can do to make those better going forward. Now, it would not be appropriate to have a session like this without also talking about Office 365, and particularly SharePoint and Teams and Outlook as well. A lot of innovation going on into that space too. You can now do custom form support in document libraries. You could previously only do it on custom lists. We also recently just shipped a much improved way to go delegate over large data sets with complex types like choice and lookups fields and person fields. The guest access that I talked about earlier will work seamlessly for SharePoint sites that are already shared with external guests, so they'll be able to just use apps that are embedded in those SharePoint sites without any additional work on your part, and that's lighting up in preview now. So there's a lot of innovation coming in this space as well, and again, more commitment on the radar past that. We're also starting to pour some more effort into Teams, as we've seen an increasing amount of interest in people using PowerApps inside of Teams. And so we were actually doing some work under the hood to make them much more performant, to launch really snappily when you click to that tab, but also the ability to pin it not just inside a tab in a channel, but actually launch an app from inside the Teams client, including on mobile. We see a lot of customers asking us to go in that direction where Teams is kind of the first touch for their frontline worker, but they want custom experiences inside of it, and PowerApps are a great way to go deliver that. So you'll see us continue to invest there. You'll also get better context about the host team and be able to pass information back to it. A lot of the things we've learned inside of embedding inside of SharePoint and embedding inside of Power BI, we're now applying into the Teams realm as well, and you'll see that start to increase in velocity here over the next several months. You also can now, if you're a CDS user and a model-driven app user, now you can embed an app inside of the Outlook experience as well. And again, this has been yet another one of those pieces of Dynamics technology that we've sort of lifted out and offered independently for anybody making Power Apps. And so now I can go take this experience, put it right into Outlook, and go put in contextual information around emails that my users are sending and receiving. I can go look up those contacts, look up the companies, go take back information about those people, take actions against CDS, make notes, set a relationship between a person and a piece of communication. Again, all this used at scale by tens of thousands of Dynamics 365 customers every month, and now available for you to use independently as part of Power Apps as well. We've got a lot of great features for admins too, and a lot of great sessions about that today, and tomorrow, so you won't be left out. But as a quick recap, we are on the road to one admin center to rule them all. There's a lot of them today. There's at least 3, right? And so we're doing a lot of work to make admin.powerplatform really the primary experience for administering. We're improving the data loss prevention policy capabilities within that admin center. We're improving the visibility into what people are using inside of CDS. We're also improving the visibility into what users are doing with apps and databases. And we have just an incredible amount of capability available now with the admin connectors to the platform. If you missed the admin in a day pre-day yesterday, it was amazing. But just great examples of how to use admin connectors and admin apps to manage your whole tenant's use of Power Apps. It's a bit meta to use the platform to manage the platform, but people are doing just amazing things on that front, which is pretty cool. But at the end of the day, that's just a tiny skip of a stone across a lot of work and innovation that's coming to the platform. What we really love more than features and more than Office and more than CDS is you, right? We love the community that is developing around these applications. We love the Power Addicts who have made amazing videos of themselves professing their commitment to the Power Platform that you can go check out on Twitter. But really, that's what drives us at the end of the day, right? It is not just about us developing things we think are cool. This is really about the community and the energy and the community of users pushing us to innovate and go faster. At the end of the day, we are very much in this together and want to make sure that we are building the platform that you need to do amazing things in your business. So with that, I want to make sure I leave plenty of time for questions. We got some time here left on the clock, but I also want to make sure we can stay after if you have them, and we will go from there. But thank you very much for being part of this platform. Yeah. Cool.
So 500 features next year.
Yeah, I know, I went too fast, man. Give me more. Yeah.
We got mics up here if anybody has any questions. Yes. So the question was, with all the new capabilities, Power Apps starts to have a lot of the same functionality that you would see in a CRM, and if we're seeing customers use that instead of a CRM. So Dynamics 365 for customer engagement is built on top of Power Apps in the Common Data Service. So it literally is a model-driven app with data stored in CDS. So it definitely is the same underlying technology. When you go to CRM applications themselves, the main idea is that you'd actually get the entire finished application with the built-in business processes, leads and opportunities, and so on. So I think in theory, but in practice, we really haven't seen customers doing that. But if you have a very narrow task, like say maybe you just want contact management, we are seeing customers say do just contact management on Power Apps and CDS without maybe going for an entire CRM. But we don't really see people doing like pipeline management, territory management, things along those lines in Power Apps. So it really depends on the depth and the breadth of capabilities you're looking for from a CRM. Yeah.
Yes. That's all I'm authorized to share with you at this moment.
I see.
It's in preview now. We will have some more news publicly on that pretty soon. But right now it's a free playground.
Yeah. So the question was, is there a different business model around the PowerApps portals? Yeah. And
Yes.
more will come later, and it'll make it, because I mean the use cases are fairly different with anonymous and B2C logins, so the same type of business model doesn't work. So there's an update to make sure that scales for our customers.
I guess what I am comfortable saying right now, for internal users, I'll be able to build it and use it internally like I would any other app based on CDS, right? So for people in my company, it's just another type of app. It's for people outside my company that there will be a new way to pay for that capability, because we have customers on portals that can go to millions of users right now, and that's not something you want to pay dollar per user per month for. So we'll have more news about that in a little while. Yeah. Ooh, good question.
Yeah. Oh, look at me. No. Okay. No.
When will Business Central get some of the love?
The question was basically is that when will Business Central kind of get the same type of love that F&O and other parts of Dynamics 365 gets? So today, I mean, we do have Business Central integration, so it can synchronize data over to the common data service. And by doing that, you can go build Power Apps, model-driven apps on the same type of information. And that's largely built on the historical CE plus Business Central integration that existed. We also have a Business Central connector, and that's GA now, so you can go build Power Apps using that connector. And I mean, in terms of deeper integration, a lot of that conversation is around how do we go bring better data symmetry between Business Central and Common Data Service. But that's something that we're always improving kind of all the time with Data Integrator and the new do-right capabilities. So I'd say there is love happening, and there'll continue to be love happening to go make that more real.
But I would say if you're working on the front lines of that, if you're using the new connector and you're using some of the scenarios, I think we definitely want to hear from you in more detail about what is working well there and what's not to help shape that.
Right, I think I saw a question over here. I saw a hand earlier. Maybe.
You do? A real one?
Past you back there. So, but. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's part of that's part of that same answer.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, over there.
The question was, what about guest access and user licensing? And the answer was still yes.
Yep. 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 Come on up.
Hi. Some of our users are still in the dark ages and using print. Now, there was talk of print coming in PowerApps. Is there anything you can tell us on that?
I'm sorry, using what?
Print.
Oh, printing. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's conspicuously not on this list. It is a very common ask in our community. We have done some investigation into how we want to tackle that. There are a couple things I'll say there. Power BI has actually been doing a bunch of innovation around report generation. And part of our thinking there is to go leverage that. In fact, in many ways, you can already leverage that today if you're using the whole platform together. So a little bit of this is we don't really want to go rebuild Power BI. And are kind of pointing people in that direction right now. There are also some report generation capabilities that are actually quite sophisticated inside of CDS that customers of Dynamics are using to go generate thousands of documents a day based on data that's pumping through that data pipeline. On the really simple end of the spectrum, like, no, I just have a screen I formatted in a Canvas app and I want to get that in a PDF or on a piece of paper, that is a part of the challenge that we will tackle as well. It'll be a little bit further out though.
The biggest thing we found with Power, because we've moved a solution to Power BI to solve this, but what we found is that if you've got a gallery that can scroll, then you're a bit messed up.
Right. Yeah. No, that understood.
That's what's tough.
Yeah.
And if the gallery is backed by CDS, I mean, you can go build printable reports based on it. You just can't do it based on connectors or data outside of CDS.
You have to do it based strictly on CDS.
Yeah, so like the reporting capability inside of CDS that uses SSRS behind the scenes, that can go create you a paginated printable report on CDS data, and that works today. And like there are some customers that do an obscene amount of printing that we know, but it's only on CDS data.
Yep. You need that too.
Yeah.
Clay, can you raise your hand? That's the guy to bribe.
Yeah.
I mean, give your great user feedback to. Yeah. And bribe. Yeah.
Cool. Do we have any other questions? So the camera control to change the resolution?
The resolution of the camera? That's a good question. I don't have an immediate near-term commitment on that. You can do things like change the streaming frame rate when you're using the streaming capabilities of the camera. But in terms of like going really high-res, low-res, or factoring the output, not in the short term. I'd love to hear more about that, though. So there are actually two aspects to that feature. There's the feature just while I'm authoring PowerApps for makers. And that in the beginning will be actually closed down. That's just something we'll publish content to in the beginning and open things up for. There's another feature that we're rolling out around the same time frame, though, for model-driven apps in the beginning, where then I can author those types of guided experiences for my end users. And that will be something that you'll be able to do as a partner, as a developer from the beginning in that world. And then we'll eventually converge those things together.
It's a team's question, but I know on the first line workers, you're able to eliminate the phone calls, but we don't want to completely eliminate the phone calls, but just restrict them when our drivers are driving down the road. Is there a way to set the driving mode versus totally wiping away the calls?
Is there a way to set a driving mode in Teams specifically? Totally makes sense. That's a question I don't know the answer to.
Yeah.
I'm happy to go shake down somebody on the Teams team, though, and get you an answer to that.
Yep.
Cool.
Email me.
Yep.
Email him.
us.
We'll take care of it.
Yep, we'll take care of it.
So right now the user experience in iOS is you can pin to home,
Yep.
which grabs the app icon, throws it on the desktop. Is there any plan to implement something like that within Windows so that users can interact with an app as if it were a client-side application? At
Oh,
least
like
from
to
their
pin it to your
perspective.
desktop as a
Pin it to the
quick link
desktop,
in Windows?
carry over the icon, maintain that sync, and then just open inside of a glorified browser shell, basically.
And you're using the native client for playing the app on Windows then? You're not launching it in the browser, or are you...
So we've got, I mean, it's a cultural thing, but we're steering folks. Folks are having a hard time steering to the web to interact with it. I mean, we're embedding them, but getting folks to use a standalone application is a little easier in some situations.
Yeah, let's talk maybe about Windows offline. I can share a little bit. We're honestly not pumping a ton of innovation into the Windows client right now, but we are looking at what the next steps are there, and how to make it a much more true standalone player that has other capabilities in addition to pinning. So you're at a good time to make a request like that.
Excellent. Okay.
Cool.
Thanks.
Hey, I was wondering if the PowerApps portals are going to be using the same security concepts as Dynamics 365, like web roles and stuff in the common data service.
Can you speak into the mic a little bit more clearly? Yeah.
Too far away.
Thanks. Better.
Sorry. I was wondering if Power Platform portals is going to be using the same security concepts as Dynamics 365, like web roles.
Oh, web roles as a security
Stuff like
concept.
that. That's how you're going to secure it.
All of the security concepts that work in Dynamics 365 today effectively apply to the common data service because it is basically the same thing, right? You're using it outside of that context. Where they don't uniformly apply is like runtime concepts inside of Canvas apps right now, but all the data access is always enforced at the server, right? So whether I'm in a team or a security group or a security role or a web role, if I can't update a record or do something, I'll get blocked no matter how I'm coming in the front door.
So right now, to get web roles, you need to buy Dynamics 365 for portals. Are web roles going to be available in the Power Platform external licenses when they become a thing?
We haven't changed the security construct of how portals work, if you're familiar with it in the Dynamics 365 context. All of that continues to be the same. The main difference is just I'm able to do it outside of an environment or an org that has a Dynamics 365 app installed. Cool.
I have a question here. What about source control? Do you have any plans to have ability to export Power App in JSON format or something they can track changes in?
Yeah, so I mean, like as a high-level goal, we want to go make all of the Power Apps ecosystem be source code ready, which means that you'd actually be able to go check it in and do diffs and actually look at the source code. It won't all be JSON. I think there's a lot, like the majority will actually be XML. But but that'll be across the board. And the general idea is that way you can actually do things like send pull requests and be completely living in a source code world and use Azure DevOps to deploy to production and test environments. So absolutely, that's the goal across the board, is to make things source code ready, source code stable, and source code diff and mergeable.
All right, sounds good. Another question, any plans to improve the experience while developing Power App scripts? When they lengthy, it becomes really difficult to handle this. There's a highlight in IntelliSense, of course, but once they big, it becomes really.
You mean like when you write the Power Apps expressions, they get really big? Yeah. So I mean, like we're continuously releasing investments and improvements there. So like commenting, automatic formatting, as well as more preview capabilities, so you can see the expression as you write it, without having to say go put it in a variable or a collection. So you can say like, hey, what's this table look like, without having to go store it somewhere inside the formula bar. So there are a lot of investments there. But if you find yourself writing like a 150-line Power Apps expression, it's probably time to start looking at moving that logic to server side in a plugin or a custom connector, or going and creating a custom Power Apps control. That's probably a better way to do it. Then you can be fully in source control and actually using a deep programming language.
All right, thank you.
We are also updating some of the plumbing under that formula authoring experience in the studio right now as well, though. That will mostly manifest to you as just better, faster improvement, lower latency when you're editing a big formula. It is the same editor library at the end of the day that Visual Studio Code uses. It's the same Monaco library. We're just on an older version of it, and we're updating it right now to be on the latest. Postman 2.0 for custom connectors. We have actually, was the session before this on custom connectors? You may have just missed the team to ask that specific question.
I actually didn't.
Using Postman 2.0 for custom.
So I think that is definitely in the roadmap. I don't know exactly when it will come out, but I mean, Postman is actually how most people go and capture that information. So I know that's. I don't know if it's like a month away or like 4 months away, but we can get back to you.
Over here.
Just had a question around the maker experience, you know, like model-driven entities, fields, so forth, forms. Comparing that to the classic Dynamics 365 solution form editor experience. There's some functionality features that are missing. So I didn't know when we could expect some comparative features there, so that way we can completely drop using the classic editing experience and fully adopt the newer one.
So the road we have there is right now actually rolling out are a bunch of updates to the view designer, the new form designer, and the entity editing experience, the solution management experience. Along with that, we're putting a banner across all the legacy Solution Explorer experiences that says, hey, try the new thing. Already we have about 20% of monthly active users on the new stuff organically, and we really haven't pushed it too hard. And what we'll expect, we'll watch really closely that usage as it cuts over. Our goal is roughly by the end of the summer, early fall, to be on all the new stuff by default, but then give you an easy way back to the older stuff if you need it. So we have a long list of things we burned down from a gap perspective. And I would love your feedback in the next couple weeks as you get a chance to use some of the new stuff, and happy to funnel you to folks who are working closely on that to make sure we make it great.
I'll be glad to provide
feedback.
Cool.
I mean, our goal will be late summer, early fall.
Okay.
That's the target.
Perfect. Thank you.
So hypothetical question here. I've got a list of customers, let's say, that don't want to pay for a D365 Sales Enterprise license. They don't want the first-party app that comes with sales. You alluded to it before, hey, CRM, Power Apps kind of merging, but let's just say hypothetically that they want light sales management. Using a P2 license, am I within the realm of Microsoft's good graces right now to recreate my own custom entity that might be called Opportunity and apply a very simple BPF to that?
Asking for a friend.
No, I mean, like I'd say, the first thing is like there also is Sales Pro, so you don't. It is a cheaper price point.
Too much. They want P2.
Still too much. Okay. But so there is Sales Pro, which is a step down from Enterprise. But in the context of Power Apps P2, like you can go build whatever you want, and I think like we feel good that there's parts of the market that maybe other people will compete with similar products, but Microsoft isn't competing there. And we feel good that as a company, we can build apps in the same segment on top of the platform where we all sit in the same building that will really compete and do very well in that space. But if we don't go after that space, anyone's free to go there. And we already have ISVs that are looking at doing like a legal CRM on PowerApps P2, like a marketing agency CRM, which are they're not even built on top of our CRM, they're built on PowerApps P2, but hyper verticalized, and we're fine with that because we're not going to go after those markets. So I think it really is just like you can go do it, and our guidance would be definitely go do it somewhere where we're not focused.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So we can create an opportunity entity with the P2 license.
Opportunities with a Z, maybe.
With a Z.
But yeah,
Fair enough. Right, exactly. Yeah.
And then the last question, and then we got to get out of here.
About advanced filtering. So if the guys coming from CRM and from model-driven apps point of view, they were using the advanced find and things like that.
Yep.
If you come from a Canvas app point of view, you can beat yourself the head off of it, because if you have 4 or 5 different entry fields like drop-downs and entry boxes, trying to combine those into a gallery that can give you easily, if you'd like, 300 lines of code to combine both of them together.
Yep.
So my question would be more like, is there a way like the advanced find, setting it up and making sure that in Canvas apps you don't have to worry about all these combinations, but having it more server-side or whatever you want to call it?
So a couple things to talk about there. One, as we bring Canvas and model apps together, and they really are converging. In fact, Clay and Rick have a session tomorrow about that. We will bring these concepts closer together in general, right? It'll happen in a couple of different ways. I talked earlier about having a custom page that I can put into a model app, where then I can effectively kind of switch between a model-driven view that already has all those capabilities, already has a rich grid, already has advanced find, and then navigate to a custom page of my choice that has all the capabilities of the Canvas, right? So I'll be able to combine the best of both of those worlds as we componentize. Now, we are also modernizing the advanced find user experience as well at the same time. And that'll happen a little bit further past the fall. But we're putting some love into that UX, and then further componentizing all of these pieces, right? So I can get to a more flexible place where I can mix and match them. So this is a little bit of another fullness of time answer, but the answer is absolutely yes. I'm trying to take the benefits of both of these capabilities and put them together, so you're not having to make big trade-offs in one or the other. You should never have to go replicate 300 lines of code just to get a grid and a good search experience. We should offer that out of the box, and we do. That's what a model-driven app is. You should also never have to go write 300 lines of code in the model-driven world just to make a button blue and move it 30 pixels to the left, right? And that's where the Canvas becomes really powerful, and the ability to go do custom UX and integrate with other data sources.
Or write your custom connector with a model-driven app instead of having it out of the box in the Canvas app.
Yes.
Exactly. So that's exactly why we're bringing them together, and we're doing it incrementally because there's a meaningful amount of usage in both places.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, thank you.
We're going to give the mics away, but we're happy to hang out for a little bit longer. We're just going to let the next sessions set up. So thanks, everybody.